Hey, this is Mo with Such a Natural back with another tutorial. Here I'm going to be covering how to do a straw set. In the beginning of every service with a client, be it a hair model or actual live client, I go in with a finger detangle. And this is right at the end of my finger detangling of this client when I just use water from a spray bottle and conditioner. Your finger detangle should be easily flowed through like this, and after the wash should leave the hair with a shine and luster similar to this. Now I'm going in and I'm applying some leave-in conditioner and moisturizer with steam onto the client's hair, and kind of like going through finding any single strand or double strand knots. And this is kind of like my process of moisturizing the hair before I actually do one big comb through and section the hair off before I start styling. Within the past, I want to say like 3 years, I have been using steam. I actually use a garment steamer because steam is steam, and it's very efficient for working with my my fold away tray here, and it's flat top, so it can just sit as I work through each section. I actually have a very thorough video on finger detangling. If you want to check that out, I'll put a card in the top corner. But yeah, each after I comb through each section, I just twist it down like a two-strand twist and then tuck it underneath. I find that this kind of helps those areas, those sections, retain the moisture while I'm working through the sections and styling. So you're gonna see me here actually tuck the two-strand twist underneath. So that's what I'm referring to when I say it's tucked underneath. So it's not like a bantu knot where it's wrapped around. It's literally kind of like tucked in between the space where the seam of the two-strand twist is made. And of course it's not neat. I actually did 6. I thought I did 7. But anyway, it's not neat, but that don't really matter because these are curls. And I mean, if you're not new here, then you kind of know my position on parts and all of the fuss behind perfection when it comes to that. But regardless, here we are getting into the actual method for the straw set. Straw set is just another form of curls. I'm sure you've seen it maybe through another channel or maybe somewhere out in the world. But yeah, it's just another form, another way to manipulate the hair to get curls. Well, you want to go in your big section off small section. You want to have a I think they call these afro combs. I don't know why, but anyway, to the side, and that would be a comb with medium teeth to fine teeth, so that you could comb and have finer teeth to comb through before you actually apply the roller. And then you just start wrapping it at the end, making sure the ends are flat. I know you can't see this part, but it's going to be shown further along in the video. But and then you kind of like roll all the hair on it. You want to kind of like secure all, because you know you're going to have certain areas in the head where you have shorter strands. So as you're rolling the hair up on the straw, you're going to grab those shorter hairs and make sure you wrap them around and make sure that they are kind of like flush along the roller as you're winding the hair up. And unlike flexi rods or perm rods, these don't have anything to them to help them stay in place. So I've resorted to using prong clips to hold the hair in place, and it's very effective. And it maintains the tautness of the straw being stabilized, pretty much. It's a very it's sort of tension based style, but all curly styles are, whether it's a rod, perm rod, whatever type of thing you're using to curl, it's tension involved. So it's not going to be painful like, you know, some other things, but it's definitely some tension involved. So you see me here, I've combed through the section. I'm wrapping the end of the hair onto the straw, and as I'm wrapping, I'm grabbing some of those shorter hairs and I'm rolling at the same time, twisting up the straw while I'm winding hair around it. This is a very ambidextrous service, but really all hairstyles are, because it takes two hands for the most part to do any hairstyle, but it's just the coordination to make sure it's very neatly wrapped, because it's important. You want it to be sleek and a sleek finish, controlled curls, and to be very consistent curls. So that's why it's important to make sure you apply this properly and also place the clip in very firmly. So again, going in with these straws, I have the ends I'm wrapping now, and the only thing I'm using to set her hair is mousse. No gel. I did in the beginning use, after she was washed, I used some leave-in and some hair cream for moisturizer while I was steaming her hair before I combed through it. But after that, all I use is mousse. And the mousse that I used to set her hair for the straw set was the Rose Water Mousse by Tejan. It was I recently started using that, and I actually really like it. I think it's a close competitor for the Main Choice Pink Lemonade Mousse, which is like my go-to mousse at the moment. So yeah, as you can see, I'm consistently having to find those shorter hairs and grasp them and wrap them around the straw as I am rolling the hair up closer and closer to the scalp. And I'm also doing that towards the bottom, because you'll have some stray away hair strands that have likely unwind themselves from the straw, or just are not as polished looking or as sleek. And so it's important to just be mindful and be attentive to that, so you can have like a very polished and consistent look, finished look. So yeah, again, I use the 2-prong clip to hold it in place. You can try with the 1-prong. They got some strong ones out there. It's just all on you. Play around with it. But this is what I use because that's what I have. I do locks as well. So, on my lock retwist, I use the 2-prong clips to hold the hair in place. So that's what I happen to have. So that's what I happen to use. Don't shy away from trying something either with what you have at home or just something that you think could be even more useful or control the hair just as good. So the process is pretty simple and straightforward. Most things you want to keep in mind are controlling the hair, smoothing the hair, and wrapping the hair firmly to ensure that the finish is sleek. And that's going to be consistently the things that's at the front of your brain while you're doing this process. And sometimes, as you saw when I inserted that clip, I find myself placing it in a certain direction and rotating it depending on whether or not I may have squeezed the straw too flat while I was grasping it or holding it in my hand. Or these are straws that I've used on other clients, so they may have been kind of squashed or smushed down from me trying to get it out or put it in, different things. So that's why I have to place the clip in a certain direction and rotate it so it can be at the right position. So, and then sometimes you could just be squeezing it while you're holding it, trying to roll it up like I am right now at the bottom. So yeah, always find your placement and secure the clip so that it stays in place. And yeah, I'm moving on to the last section here. Right at the top where her part is, where the rollers are finished, right at the upper half of the screen, you'll see a clip that's facing down toward her eyebrow. And in a few, you're gonna see me place another clip in a similar way, and I'm gonna explain why. But for right now, you see me combing through with the medium teeth. And I do that so it's not uncomfortable, to get any, glitches out of the way. And sometimes I swing the comb around and then use the fine teeth to knock anything else out of the way, smoothing that section. But I'm rolling the hair on. And you want to secure the ends by rolling, after you place the end on the straw, rolling hair over the end so it stays in place. I mean, it's pretty much the same rules with any roller set, or wet set as they used to call them. But yeah, for those that may be new or haven't done it before or don't feel like they do it efficiently, that's one rule to live by. You always want to roll those ends up by the hair. That's gonna cover the ends up so it helps it to stay on the roller. You never want to just not have anything holding the end in place. So there again is me putting that clip on, combing through with the medium teeth on this comb. These combs, the blue comb that I'm using, I found those at Sally's. They come in a 12 pack, maybe a larger quantity, but for sure 12 for like $2 or $3 or something like that. And those are very strong, sturdy combs. Like they can be dropped, all of that. They're not flimsy at all. You'll probably hurt yourself trying to crack that comb. You see me right now, I'm grabbing those shorter hairs that's by the sideburn and rolling it in. Because I pretty much want everything to kind of be like smooth and sleek. And just because it's a little shorter than the rest of the section here doesn't mean it can't be rolled onto the roller. And again, the mousse I use is I want to say that's the Rose Water Curl Defining Mousse by TGIN. I've reduced over the years the things that I use by them because I don't know if I just missed it or I wasn't paying close enough attention, but they have silicone in their products. It's like dimethicone in the deep conditioner and in the twisting creams that I was using previously. It's been about 4 or 5 years, or like 3 or 4 years, but regardless, I don't use them anymore. Lately, my go-to leave-ins have been Comet Biologics. Leave-in and twisting creams and moisturizers have been Comet Biologics, and also I use this brand. What is the brand? Not Camille Rose. Miel Organics. I really like Miel Organic stuff, and the Main Choice stuff too. And I also stick by the Shea Moisture shampoo, straight to the point. They have some different lines that I like. I like the Lush line as well as the Power Greens. Very deep cleaning, but also moisturizing shampoo. Some people don't favor them or don't like them, but it's a shampoo. It's a moisturizing shampoo. I don't use the conditioners. I have before, but my go-to conditioner has been the Camille Rose. Is it Camille Rose? I forget the name of that conditioner. Hold on. I had to go look back in the cabinet, but anyway, it's the Camille Rose Moroccan Pear. That's my go-to conditioner that I've been using on my clients, and it's great. It's actually a conditioner that can serve as a deep conditioner, but also it's a conditioner that I use after the client's under the dryer. And you saw me kind of fighting with some of the hairs at the top. I just like to ensure that I'm getting everything kind of flush and not like just I don't want nothing to be frizzy or not controlled. So that's why I'm trying to be specific with my placements and different things. But anyway, and throughout the video in some areas the camera has been out of focus. Is because it's an autofocus lens. So when I put my arm up or my hand is a certain way, it causes the lens or the focus to seem fuzzy. It's only temporary. So if you've been watching and watching the video until this point, I appreciate you staying around and sticking it out to learn this technique, and possibly something that you may use on yourself or try on a friend or try on a client. I'm not sure, but thank you for being here. So getting close to the point that I was referring to earlier, where I have the second clip, because so far throughout the head you've only been seeing me use one clip on each section, and that's really all you need. These are the parts of the service when you start to get happy. No, this has been This is all of it's easy in my opinion, but it's very straightforward. All you really want is to make sure the hair is thoroughly moisturized, saturated with mousse, so you can easily control it and smooth it while you're wrapping the hair and clip it down. I mean, ultimately, you just need a client with who can hold a good head, and you're gonna get through relatively easy. Now, actually rolling the hair takes about 45 minutes to an hour because these are you working you're focusing on controlling the hair. It's a very thorough you're very thorough in that regard, but and then also it's the drying. Drying takes about an hour and a half. So overall, from washing to conditioning, detangling, and setting the hair and drying, it's about 3.5 to 4 hours. So you got to pack your patience and a lunch for this one. Um, and so you have to rank your pricing or do your pricing accordingly. You want to make sure you're getting your worth for the service that you offered. Obviously, once you implement and get to a point of being efficient in the service, but it's just a lengthy service. It don't matter. What I mean by efficacy is like just being good at the service. But right here is where I was referring to using that second clip. I am smoothing down the hairline, the edges right here at this smaller section in the front, and I'm inserting that second clip so that it can control the hair and dry flat and smooth during the drying process. And I only have two more sections left, so after this, after I put in the last roller, I'm going to show you what the whole head of rollers looks like. And I also try to cut the straw so that it's not so spiky and the dryer can actually fit under, the head of hair can actually fit under the hood. Because that's the problem sometimes with some of the bigger rollers or the flexi rods or the different things. They so spongy and big and kind of in the way that it gets in the way of the dryer closing properly, and therefore the hair can't efficiently dry or dry thoroughly. But regardless, I'm putting on this last roller here, and then I'm going to show you how the head looks before the client's placed under the dryer. Depending on your personality, though, with the straw set, you can get about 2 to 4 weeks with these curls. That's why I preface the statement with depending on your personality, because some people like older hairstyles. It's just like two-strand twists. Some people only like to wear them 2 or 3 weeks. Some people like to wear them 4 and 5 weeks, and then they have the twist out afterwards. So it's all personality and situation based. I know it gets old because I done said this so many times during this video, but rolling those hairs and smoothing those hairs really is is so key. It's so key with this service, really with all rollers, but sometimes people just be so ready to get done, they just slapping them things in. But obviously you take your time, and you are more effort is involved with providing a service to a client. Right here, you see I'm finding some areas that are not smooth and may have a little frizz. And in order to control that, before placing the client under the dryer, I'm putting mousse on it and wrapping the hair around the roller again. Those are just kind of like flyaways or something to that effect. Some of them I'm rolling back to make sure it's controlled and very firm and staying in place. But this is now the head of hair after it's been set on the straws before the client is placed underneath the dryer. I know it looks like it's kind of spiky and all out there, but it's actually not that many straws. And it did fit very well. And now, after the dryer, this is what the straw set looks like after the straws have been removed. And it's not the most becoming look, but that's just how they look before they're taken off or separated rather. And then now this is the finished look. This is the complete finished look of a straw set. Very pretty curls. It's I think it's a good style to work into your regimen. It just depends on your patience level and whether or not you do well with sitting underneath the dryer. You have to know yourself. No stylist wants to be surprised by a poor attitude and a person that's impatient when it comes to drying. If you know you don't like the dryer, don't get a service that involves a lengthy time of sitting underneath the dryer. It's pretty simple math. Until next time, be sure to check out the website, which is suchanaturalbeauty.com. If you're in the Metro Detroit area and are going to visit the Metro Detroit area, be sure to check the website for all starting prices and list of services, and call or text to book an appointment at 313-948-8957. Thanks again for tuning into this straw set tutorial, and I'll see you next time.